información de la lucha libre. Este que les habla es Michael Morales Torres, integrante del equipo de lucha libre online. Y tenemos el enorme privilegio de presentarles a nuestro invitado en la tarde de hoy de Las Vegas, Nevada, para el mundo, the ultimate finesser himself, Dashing Chris Bay, the Impact Wrestling para el mundo. Chris, how are you doing today?
Doing amazing, man. I appreciate that awesome intro.
Thank you, man. You deserve that intro even way better. You are right now a hot commodity all around the world. We saw you on Super J Cup. You had an amazing performance. We saw you on the main event of Final Resolution. How did it feel for you, man? Being the main event, but not just you, Rich Swann, two African Americans fighting for the culture, fighting for the young African Americans out there that are looking to you as inspiration. I saw a tweet from a kid recently that actually mentioned that he's like 14 years old and showing Rich Swann and you in the main event, inspiring him enough to do this as his profession. How do you feel about that moment, man?
I just feel blessed, man. It's cool to inspire people, and especially to inspire people to live their dreams, and people who look like you, and people who just want to be something that a lot of people tell them that they can, or that they just don't see enough to believe that it's true. And I'm just grateful that Impact gave us that opportunity to fight on that large platform for that world championship. You know, Rich Swann is doing an amazing job as world champion. You know, he's one of the best people I've ever stepped in the ring with, and I credit him for taking me to that next level. And I don't think it's the last that you'll see of Chris Bay in the main event scene, but I think that I proved a lot that night, and for the culture's sake, we changed the game.
I'm going to translate that to Spanish. Chris Bay menciona, lo primero que todo mi pregunta es que ¿qué se siente para Chris Bay llegar a la lucha estelar de Impact Wrestling en Final Resolution? Es un hot commodity, está en todo el mundo, estaba en New Japan Pro Wrestling Super J Cup, estuvo en Final Resolution en el evento estelar, y junto a Rich Swann, dos afroamericanos en la lucha estelar, lucharon por la cultura, lucharon por su pueblo, lucharon por su gente, y Chris me dice que se siente excelente ser una inspiración para el resto de las personas. No hemos visto lo último de Chris Bay en la escena estelar. Mencioné que Rich Swann es un excelente luchador, es un buen campeón, y lo impulsó a Chris Bay a ese próximo nivel que él necesitaba en su carrera, y que está eternamente agradecido por la oportunidad. So Chris, let's go a little bit back in your career. I saw a picture of you with an Impact Wrestling, at that point the TNA Heavyweight Championship, and you were holding 10 years later, I believe 10 years later, the Impact Wrestling World Champion. That was an incredible moment. That should have been surreal for you. What inspired you to become a pro wrestler, and why choosing Impact Wrestling as Chris Bay's home?
Well, first inspired me was Eddie Guerrero. I was a huge wrestling fan for a long time, but it wasn't until Eddie Guerrero was able to tell his story that I really felt it, because I think we all can agree that with Eddie's passing, we all felt like we lost somebody that we knew, you know, and I never met the guy, but 8-year-old me felt, you know, it personal, as if, you know, my own uncle or my best friend had passed away. Just a feeling that Eddie always gave me when I watched wrestling, and it made me want to wrestle, because I wanted to give people the same feeling Eddie gave me, you know, take people on those emotional roller coasters and make people feel happy and make people feel sad, and just make people feel connected. And that was like what really made me want to become a professional wrestler. And then what made me choose Impact as my home is just I like to live out dream scenarios. So for me, it was a no-brainer a couple of years ago when I first got to wrestle for Impact Wrestling that I wanted to make Impact Wrestling a place of establishment for Chris Bay, and a place that I could connect my name to directly. When people look at current day Impact Wrestling, they could Chris Bay to it. Like you said. So now, for me, it was important to, as an adult, win the TNA World Championship, the Impact World Championship, so that people could see this direct connection, so that people could see that what you dream of can become reality. I don't think anyone has had that story before, and I'm all about telling unique stories that are original, and I'm all about living my own personal dreams, and it's a personal dream of mine. So that's really what made me come to Impact Wrestling.
So I'm going to translate to Spanish. Chris Bay, mi pregunta fue que, ¿qué fue lo que inspiró a Chris Bay a ser luchador, o quién lo inspiró y por qué seleccionó a Impact Wrestling como su hogar? Chris menciona una figura, Eddie Guerrero. Eduardo Gori Guerrero fue el hombre que lo inspiró a él y fue el hombre que lo enganchó en este deporte de las 1000 emociones, que cuando Eddie fallece, al igual que muchos de ustedes y muchos de nosotros, lamentablemente sintió que alguien de su familia o su mejor amigo falleció con eso. Porque Eddie creó esa conexión, pese a que fue algo que no, a alguien que nunca tuvo la oportunidad de conocer, creaba esa conexión con la audiencia, y eso fue lo que lo inspiró a Chris Bay a ser luchador. Entonces, él decide entrar a esto para hacer a la gente sentirse como Chris Bay fue, que se sintió cuando vio a Eddie Guerrero. O sea, él quiere inspirar a las personas, él quiere llevarlos en el deporte de las 1000 emociones, en esta montaña rusa de emociones constante del deporte. ¿Y por qué Impact Wrestling? Porque Impact Wrestling se convirtió en la casa de Chris Bay. Él quiere convertir a Impact en una marca que cuando piensen en Impact, piensen en Chris Bay, pero que cuando piensen en Chris Bay, de igual manera piensen en Impact, una marca ya establecida, que le pueda dar la oportunidad de catapultarse al próximo nivel, y estamos muy seguros que vamos a ver a Chris Bay con ese campeonato mundial peso completo, que lo sostuvo en una de las fotos cuando tenía 14 años y luego lo sostuvo en la vida real. Ese sentimiento fue increíble para él y estoy seguro que muy pronto llegará ese momento. So Chris, let's talk about music. So you are a pro wrestler, but you're also an artist. For all our fans out there, Chris Bay's music is available on Odyssey specifically, is available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. What inspired Chris Bay to, besides being a pro wrestler, be a musician and artist?
I've been writing music, man, since I was like 5 years old. So I've always been invested in music. I just put it on the back for a bit when I started wrestling, because I needed to give my wrestling 110% of my focus. You know, with everything that's happened in the world this year, my wrestling schedule lightened up a bit, so I was able to, you know, get back to recording and releasing music. But it's something that's always been a part of my life. I just had to make wrestling number one if I wanted to make it work. And fortunately, we've been able to get to a place where it works. So I can kind of balance and juggle that out better now. But wrestling has always been a part of my life. You know, my grandfather was an entertainer. He used to sing. And my brothers make music. So for me, it's just something that kind of runs in the family.
So I'm going to translate that to Spanish. Chris menciona que la música es algo que siempre ha estado en su vida, siempre ha sido una inspiración. Mi pregunta es que Chris Bay, de hecho, tiene una pieza musical. Ahora sí la pueden conseguir en Spotify, Apple Music, la pueden conseguir en iHeartRadio y entre muchísimas otras alternativas que tienen disponible para escucharlo. Pero él menciona que la música ha estado con Chris Bay desde los 5 años. Su hermano también trabajaba y producía música. Es algo que siempre le ha inspirado y ha creado este balance entre la industria de la lucha libre y la escena de la música, que lo ha permitido catapultarse en ambas marcas y darle una oportunidad a las personas de que conozcan algo distinto también a la industria de la lucha libre. So Chris, let's talk about that episode of Impact on Access TV. 750,000 people stopped in to see Chris Bay in action. So they were on Twitch, they were available on Access TV, the YouTube episode, Facebook broadcast. You were everywhere, man. 750,000 people saw you wrestle. How did that feel for you?
It felt great, man. I hope it's every weekend more. I love what's happening right now with our company, with Impact Wrestling. I love that people are starting to find out how many talented performers we have over on Access. And I love that this merger that's going on right now that's just making everything bigger. They're getting to see that, you know, Chris Bay is a true star. And there's been a lot of hype around me over the last year or so. So now they get to see what the hype is about. And if they tune in, you know, weekly on Tuesdays, they will see that I'm always evolving. I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly giving them different content. And I'm barely just scratching the surface of what I really can do in this business, you know. And it's a story that they can follow now weekly and see the growth and development. I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time, though. I hope they tune in again this week.
So I'm going to say this in Spanish again. Chris Bay menciona, mi pregunta fue que qué se sintió que 750,000 personas vieran a Chris Bay luchando. porque fue el número de Impact la semana anterior. Él me dice que 750,000 personas pudieron ver de qué se trataba el hype de Chris Bay, de ver su talento, de exponer su talento en los Tuesdays de Impact Wrestling. Él está muy orgulloso del trabajo y que tienen que ahora sintonizar Impact todos los martes en Access TV y en la plataforma Twitch para ver de qué Impact Wrestling y Chris Bay están hechos. Estoy muy seguro que van a hacer un excelente trabajo. Kenny Omega, The Cleaner, The Collector, Triple A's Mega Champion, AEW's World Champion was in latest edition, and it's going to be on this editions of Impact Wrestling. What are your thoughts on this pseudo AEW invasion? I don't want to say it that way, but the fact that you guys have one of the most prestigious world champion in your show, people talk immediately about dream matches, and Chris Bay is one name in that conversation. What do you think of Kenny Omega stepping on Impact Wrestling doors?
I think it's cool. You know, I think to check in with me, sure, because he's coming into my home, so he's gonna need to introduce himself at the door, you know. But it's cool. Cool for the business. It's cool for everybody who's a fan of pro wrestling, just to see something different and see something unique and something that they can't predict. You know, what's really going on or what's really happening, because everything seems to change right in front of their eyes. But it's cool. I think Kenny's a great addition to any locker room, and if he wants to mix it up with some of the, if he wants to mix it up with some of the Impact talent, then I'll be first in line. And if he doesn't want to, you know, mix it up with me and he wants to take on other Impact talent, we have other people across the board who would have amazing matches with Kenny. You know, people like Eddie Edwards and people like, you know, Sami Callihan and people like, you know, Rich Swann, you know, world champ versus world champ. You know, I think that there's a lot of dream match scenarios for everyone involved. And then if you want to throw other AEW talent in that name too, we really get a real brand versus brand thing going. And it could just be something awesome and something truly unique that people will remember forever.
Awesome, so I'm going to translate this to Spanish. Dice que obviamente mi pregunta es referente a Kenny Omega llegando y tocando la puerta, ingresando a la casa de Impact Wrestling, a la boca del lobo. Él menciona que esto es excelente para la industria de la lucha libre, que brinda una oportunidad a todo el mundo. Inmediatamente se menciona el nombre de Chris Bay y él dice que estaría muy contento de ser la persona que luche con Kenny Omega cuando toque la puerta, pero que si no sea él la persona, también tiene muy buenos talentos que harían el trabajo contra Kenny Omega, como lo es Eddie Edwards, como lo es Rich Swann, el campeón mundial, entre muchísimas otras personas. Así que tener a Kenny Omega, uno de los mejores luchadores del mundo y uno de los mejores campeones de la industria, en Impact Wrestling definitivamente es bueno para el negocio y bueno para AEW también, porque enganchan el público de Impact Wrestling a AEW. Chris, last but not least, we saw you on Ethan's page vlog as part of the what they call the bot squad. There's Rohit Raju, Cousin Jake, it's Ethan Page, Josh Alexander. There's like a small group, bless you, of people that are working together. But besides pro wrestling, there seems a true friendship in that group. How's been the backstage ambience on Impact Wrestling for you since your beginning until now?
It's great, man. You know, Impact's really a family, and we all want the best product possible. We all want that fans can enjoy, and that when people look at the modern day Impact Wrestling, they can have good things to say about it, because we all care so much about what we're putting out there. And that was a part of the reason why I also wanted to come to Impact, because the few times that I did get to participate in shows, I just felt the energy in the back, and it felt like something that I really wanted to be a part of over any other locker room I had been in. It really felt like something that I needed right now in my life, and I'm not at all upset with the decision that I made, and I think that we have a great team, and the key word is team. We are a team, and we all want the same result.
So, let me translate that to Spanish. Chris Bay menciona algo bien importante, y es que Impact Wrestling es una familia. Me preguntaba referente a lo que le llaman el Bot Squad, que es su grupo de amistades fuertes. Impact es un grupo de personas que son sumamente talentosos, pero son muy unidos. Todos están muy felices de estar uno con el otro. Todo el mundo tiene el hambre, todo el mundo quiere crecer, todo el mundo quiere brindarle a las personas el mejor espectáculo. Y entiendo que eso ha sido la clave, parte del éxito de Impact Wrestling, que es que el ambiente a la parte de atrás es excelente, se llevan como hermanos todos. Y todos nuestros fanáticos no se olviden que Impact Wrestling tiene el evento Genesis ahora en enero de Impact Wrestling y Hard to Kill el 16 de enero, disponible por Fight TV, disponible en todos los formatos de pay-per-view. Así que dense la oportunidad. Todos los martes, discúlpeme, every Tuesday Impact Wrestling disponible en Access TV y en Twitch a partir de las 8 de la noche Eastern Time. Tienen que estar pendientes de la programación y shopimpact.com para toda la mercancía de Impact Wrestling. Chris, it's been such an honor to have you as our guest, man. Thank you so much for your time, and we're always wishing you the best of lucks in your new projects and in Impact Wrestling.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and energy.
Thank you, sir.